So, I've been playing Wolfenstein 3D recently. And to me, that is the grandfather of all first person shooters. Whatever other game existed before it, it was the first game to me that really solidly approached the idea of the man with the gun in the first person. That was the game that did it for me. And this isn't any sort of new news. But what is new was something that I probably wouldn't have recognized if I hadn't been doing this so close together, while also having just finished up the first Modern Warfare on Veteran all the way through and just getting all the achievements on the Xbox 360, and then going and playing Wolfenstein 3D. Just how remarkably similar those two games are, for a very interesting reason. It's not in the secrets that you find by pressing a picture of Hitler, or the zombie Nazi men that dance shooting their guns at you. Seriously, go play Chapter 2 of Wolfenstein 3D. They dance while they shoot you, and it's annoying. But it's in how you clear a room. That's something that's never changed. You still run into the room and try to shoot down as many dudes as possible. Seriously, I'm playing through Wolfenstein on like the hardest difficulty, and that's my goal, is to get in the room as soon as possible and blow as many dudes down as I can before I get taken down myself. And there's like 7 or 8 dudes, and I realized this is how I went through the first Modern Warfare. Throw a flashbang and try to kill as many dudes as possible before they shoot me down. And this is just every single room. And while in Wolfenstein I can save where I want, the checkpoint system in Modern Warfare has always been pretty lenient, so it feels pretty good insofar as, have a battle and save. That's so curious, isn't it? The first Modern Warfare was released in 2007. It's kind of crazy to think about, isn't it? I am younger than Wolfenstein 3D. So, there's that. But 15 years later, some of the exact same core mechanical interactions with the game exist still and are used quite regularly in gameplay. That is interesting in so many ways. I mean, you look at Mario, and yes, it's the core element is the platforming, and that's always been it. It's always been about that platforming. But to think these are two different companies creating two very different styles of first-person shooter on two very different platforms. You look at what is Modern Warfare running on? It's on the Xbox, PlayStation 3, and PC, and Wii. Versus, MS-DOS, or whatever it is that Wolfenstein launched off of back in the early 90s. It's kind of crazy to think about. That reflection, that callback, that feels so constant and so ingrained in what we as gamers use as our approach to these sort of games. And I hope you can go and maybe play like Final Fantasy and then go play Mass Effect and go, well now. I don't mean like Final Fantasy, like NES Final Fantasy. That's something that I hope we can all learn to appreciate over time. That some things are just mechanically good, and they feel mechanically solid, and they work for what you're doing in the game. So, it's always interesting to pull these things out and look at, time changes, but sometimes it stays the same. That isn't exactly bad, is it? Thank you for joining me while I talk about an interesting reflection I've had playing old and new games. And tomorrow I have no idea what I'm going to talk about, but hopefully it's just as interesting as this, because as I was doing this episode, I was going, wow, this is actually kind of cool to think about. But thank you for watching, and I shall see all of you later.